I'm going to choose 25 AFL players who realistically have a chance to win the Brownlow in 2024. I kind of saw a similar concept with Kane Corns and David King on, I think it was SEN or something. So I'm going to choose a similar topic, go through every team and give you a realistic chance of who could actually win the Brownlow. And obviously, more or less, they're all midfielders. Because as much as I think the Kernos, the Larkies, even the Darcy Moores deserve a shout, they're not going to win the Brownlow because it is a midfielders award. Anyway, you hear me complain about that way too much. We're going to start off with Adelaide. I've just got one name, Jordan Dawson. I think he's going to keep accelerating as their captain. Rory Ledd's like, I think 30-31, so he might slow down a little bit. Yes, they got the same amount of votes in 2023, but I've got Dawson down as the only realistic chance to win the Brownlow, and given that he's young and is going to keep getting better, you would think he would overtake Rory Ledd. Brisbane, also one name, Lachie Neale. I think it's going to slow down a little bit, not a lot, but probably only finish top 10 in the Brownlow. Definitely the only chance for Brisbane in my eyes, to be completely honest. Obviously, anyone who wins the Brownlow the year after, they have to be in consideration to win it again. Okay, it's pretty rare that people go back to back. With this guy, could he win a third? If he does win a third Brownlow, I mean, we're talking about one of the greats, really. The fact he's won two still bewilders me. Like, he's won more than Danger, than Dusty. Like, how? Yes, he didn't deserve the Brownlow in 2023. Yes, he didn't even make All-Australian in 2023. But fortunately, the way the system works, the umpires vote, and they've got no idea what a good player is, so he won it. But here's Brisbane's only real chance. And if you do the maths, 25 players, 18 teams, it's an average of 1 to 2 players per team. With Carlton, I've got two names. I've got Patrick Cripps and Sam Welsh. Now, if you've watched previous videos, I predicted Sam Welsh to come third in the Brownlow if he keeps his body fit. I think he will because he's young. You would think the injuries won't come back, hopefully for him. Touch fucking wood. But I think it's a way better chance than Cripps. Obviously, Cripps is still, relatively speaking, young, nowhere near 30. Well, I guess close to 30, but not touching it. So he 100% still has a chance to win the Brownlow. So two names there for Carlton, Cripps and Walsh, definitely going to be contention. I think Sam Walsh could finish first, definitely top 3. With Collingwood, I feel like Collingwood are one of those teams where they are quite system-based. So definitely Nick Dacos is one. And the other thing with Collingwood is a lot of their good players are in the forward and defensive line particularly. Moore, Maynard, Cripps, Howe. That's where they win their premiership there. Not so much through the midfield. They aren't the greatest midfield squad, particularly statistically, but I've definitely got Nick Dacos, that is, not Josh. I don't think he will. I've also got Jordan De Goey in there. I feel like De Goey still has that capability to just explode into another level and go like top 5 players. You could argue he's a top 10 player in 2023. I wouldn't blame you. Will he win the Brownlow? Probably not. But I feel like he could have a season in him where people just go, holy shit, like this is the guy we all thought it was going to be. For Essendon, Zach Merritt. I honestly don't think Darcy Parish has the chance. I don't think he has the foot skills, the skills in general. Yes, he can find the ball and get a bunch of useless disposals. So in that respect, he is a chance to the umpires. But I don't think he is. I think just Zach Merritt is. Zach Merritt is a star, much better player than Parish, and he deserves to get the Brownlow votes. Albeit, I'm pretty sure they got equal or close to equal in 2023. Fremantle's an interesting one. So obviously, Caleb Sarong is a definite chance. Like, he has to be in this list, non-negotiable. Okay, the other guy I've always heavily considered is Andy Brayshaw. I feel like I'm going to put him in this list on the basis of he can be that player. In 2023, he didn't accelerate like Sarong did and keeps doing. I think Sarong, I can get the votes up here for the 2023 Brownlow medal. Sarong got 24, Brayshaw got 10. 10 votes. You know, Sarong had 2.5 times more votes than Andy Brayshaw. But I do think Brayshaw has the capability to explode a little bit like Sarong, especially if Fremantle gets some stability up top with the coaching department and all that kind of stuff, then he might find an easier platform to accelerate. With Geelong, I've got no names. I don't think they have a chance of someone getting the Brownlow. Not to say they don't have good midfielders, it's just they won't rack up votes, and we're going to keep that as none. For GWS, I've got Green and Green. 2 Greens. Tom and Toby Green. Tom Green, definite top 5 for me this year. I've heard people say Brownlow shout, well, like he will win it. The only reason he might not is I feel like GWS could be a great team and they can't be relying on one sole midfielder. And the other thing is Toby Green will always take votes off him. Toby Green is just electric. So he will always be in my Brownlow shout because yes, he's predominantly a forward, but he can roll through the midfield and play a part there. But definitely both Greens are a chance to. There's a pun there that I'm not going to say because I deserve to delete my YouTube channel after that. But Green and Green for GWS are a definite chance. For the Gold Coast Football Club, I can't believe I'm saying this. I've got 3 names there. They are one of 2 to 3 clubs where I've got 3 names for them. Obviously, Touk Miller, if he stays fit, he's always a Brownlow chance. Noah Anderson, also always a Brownlow chance. The third player I've got is Matt Rowell, and you might be laughing at me because when I get these stats up again, Matt Rowell got 12 votes in 2023, so he did get more than Brayshaw, so maybe the Brayshaw shout is a little bit more ridiculous, but the Matt Rowell shout, he was the best player in his age group, which included Noah Anderson, so I feel like as a number 1 draft pick, that capability is there. Yes, the injury in his first year, in like his 4th or 5th game, has heavily stunted his progress, but I think the capability is still there. Kind of like De Goey could do that. Brayshaw could do that. Matt Rowell could turn to a Brownlow player. He could be like Matt Priddis, for a good example. No one thought he was going to win the Brownlow, but he gets a lot of touches, gets some good tackles, and he wins the Brownlow all of a sudden. So anything's possible with Matt Rowell, and there's a bit of an outside shout that I wanted to put in there. I have no names for the Hawthorn Football Club. Yes, they have names like Jai Newcomb, who got 18 votes in 2023, but I feel like, yes, Newcomb got more than Brayshaw and Rowell, but the ceiling of Brayshaw and Rowell, I feel like, is way higher than Newcomb, and those two have the ability to get to that level. Yes, they haven't proven it yet, but they have the capabilities too, where I feel like, Newcomb, doesn't have that ability. So no names for Hawthorn. For Melbourne, I have Petrarca. Definitely one player. I originally had 3 in this list. Petrarca, obviously always a Brownlow shout. I think this season he might not, with Oliver coming back and Gawn maybe staying fit, but he's definitely a chance to win the Brownlow. The other names I had were Oliver and Jack Varney. They were the 2 other names I had. I've taken Jack Varney out. Now, in 2023, Jack Varney got 24 votes, 2 less than Christian Petrarca, so he got a load of votes. I think he finished like 7th or 8th. But the reason I don't have him in is A, he's turning 30, so he's getting old now. Yes, that doesn't mean anything, but age is catching up to him. And the other reason is, now that Clayton Oliver's going to be coming back, I feel like there's just that chance with Oliver that he could learn from his mistakes, or, it could galvanize him. All these issues and problems off field could turn him into a beast and could sort of be you versus me kind of vibe. And we just don't know how he's going to respond. And I think for that reason, I'm going to put him as a chance from the Brownlow. Obviously, Oliver, year after year, not including last year, but the 3-4 years before that, he's always been up in the Brownlow. And I think Varney polled really well in 2023 because of Oliver's absence. But if Oliver finds his feet again, Varney won't have that same influence. And that's why I've got those 2. North Melbourne, I've got one player, LDU, Luke Davies-Uniacke. Definitely a chance for the Brownlow. A little bit more on that sort of Brayshaw, Rowell vibe, where he's never reached the heights. He's shown more than those 2, in my opinion. Yeah, he hasn't reached those heights anywhere near yet. Will he reach them in 2024? Probably not, but he's so silky. He reminds me of a Bont kind of vibe, but just not quite there yet. And maybe not, well, he won't ever be as good as Bont, to be honest, but definitely up around those sort of vibes for me. And if Clarko accelerates that team, that will help him be a better player. Port Adelaide, I've just got 2 names, Butters and Rosie. Jason Horne-Francis, I feel like maybe 1 year too early. Yes, he polled all right in 2023. Like, if you look at Port Adelaide's vote, Rosie had 21, Butters 27, Horne-Francis had 16, so 5 less than Connor Rosie. So he was up there with the Brownlow votes, but he got a 3-vote game, and he had like 11 touches as a midfielder. So definitely some suspicious behavior going on there. But for me, Connor Rosie and Zach Butters, particularly Connor Rosie, I think watch out for him because I think he's a better player than Butters. I think he's more versatile, forward, midfield. And now that he's captain, he might find a different beast in him now that he has that sort of responsibility to lead a team. He might feel more obliged to lead by the front, to put great performances in, to stand out in big moments because he's the captain of that club. So I feel like watch out for him. Butters is obviously a chance. I mean, he finished really high up in 2023, so definite chance for him as well. For the Richmond Football Club, for my club, I mean, we have so much history of the Brownlow. We've got this guy, I don't even know if you can see him, but Big Dustin Martin. We've got Trent Cotchin. I have a load of names for Richmond. I got 5 names. I'm just joking. I got no names for Richmond. Yes, Tim Taranto, there was a lot of talk towards, just before the Brownlow occurred. He was first for some people I saw online, but he was always in the sort of top 6 and the Brownlow top 7, but he didn't end up getting anywhere near that. And to be honest, I thought that was a fluke season. I don't think Richmond have any players who are capable of winning the Brownlow. This guy's probably going to be the closest, Dustin Martin, but he's getting old and he probably doesn't have the body to stay fit for 24 rounds. For St Kilda, I've only got Jack Steele. Why don't I have Jack Sinclair? I think Jack Sinclair will always poll well, but I feel like he's reached his ceiling. He's like 30 now. I don't think he's going to get any better, right? And you have to get better to win the Brownlow because yes, he did great last season, the year before, but I don't think he's a realistic shout for the Brownlow, and he doesn't captivate you as a Brownlow winner. Jack still does, captain of that club, leader, the best player of that club when he keeps his body fit. The big question is, will he keep his body fit? No idea. I mean, track history says no, but if he does, he's the only shout for St Kilda for me. For the Swans, I've got 3 names. Obviously, Errol Goulding did really well in 2023, might continue to do well in 2024. I've got Chad Warner as well. I predicted Chad Warner as an outside shout to win the Brownlow, and if you watch my predictions video of my 2024 award predictions. And by the way, I'm recording this as of early Feb, so the season has started. I might post this like round 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. But I'll try to get this out as quick as possible. Warner, I'm going to say wins the Brownlow, and then I'm going to say Bont comes second, who I'll talk a bit about the Dogs later. And then third, I'm going to say is Walsh, fourth, Tom Green, and then fifth, choose any of the names from here. I'll choose fifth a little bit later, but Chad Warner's definitely got a chance. And then I've got Callum Mills because he's the sole captain, and a little bit like Rosie, will the sole captaincy, turn Mills into a beast? Will it make him more inclined to stand out, to lead by the front, to play big in big games, to be a solid, consistent contributor? Yes. Luke Parker's just getting a bit old, and there are now better midfielders than him, so he's not in that list. But Swans and Gold Coast, 2 of the teams with 3 names, in my opinion. For West Coast, I've got 1 name. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I honestly have Harley Reid. We saw Dacos in his first year, take the world by storm. Harley Reid, all the talks about his talent prior to being drafted. There's every chance he turns into West Coast best player immediately. Will he? Probably not, but a little bit of outside shout, and he might be the only one to poll over 10 for West Coast. You don't know what's going to happen. He could stand out like a sore thumb, like Matt Rowell did in the first 4 games for the Suns, where he polled like 9 votes or something, I've got Harley Reid. For the Dogs, I've only got 1 name, despite the fact that they've got Luba, Treloar, McRae. I've only got the Bont. I feel like he's the only standout player there. He's going to get the votes. Bailey Smith's injured as well, so he's going to have to stand up. Dunkley's obviously gone. I didn't put Dunkley in for Brisbane either. I don't think I mentioned that. I don't think Dunkley's that good, to be completely honest. I don't think he has the foot skills to warrant winning a Brownlow. So I've just got the Bont for the Dogs. Obviously the Bont, he deserves at least a Brownlow. He's been the best player in the AFL for the last 4 years. One of the best players in the AFL for the last 10 years. And he deserves to be in there. So there are the names. I won't need to recap them because they'll be on screen, or you can go back and watch them or whatever. But I've got my 25 players who are a realistic chance to win the Brownlow. Let me know if you agree in the comments. Give me your realistic chance. Obviously 25 is a pretty decent sized list, but the reality is 5, maybe 4 or 5 of these players will get a long term or be quite injured throughout the season, so they'll be out. 4 or 5 just won't do what I think they might do. LDU might stink up the gaff, Brayshaw might stink up the gaff, DeGoey might stop. Even players like Lachie Neale might honk because he's getting old. Rosie might not respond well to the captaincy. Mills is probably nowhere near a chance, but I like to put him in anyway. Harley Reid's probably too young. There's a lot of reasons why players won't be like from this list, probably the top 25, I would say 18 will make the top 25, maybe 17, 16. But that's my honest opinion. Let me know if you agree. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you very much for watching. Follow the TikTok FTFooty, and I'll be seeing you in another video.